ready for some Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
And good Wednesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Deron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of Heat Zone Live, courtesy of Kendall Sports Network. After 2 days of missing the hardwood, after being on the road 3 up and 2 down against the Western Conference, the Miami Heat are back at home in what should be a high-scoring Sunshine State showdown against Southeast Divisional rival Orlando Magic. This one should be a very highly contested game. Of course, in the last 3 games, the Orlando Magic have had Miami's number. But I feel like this time around, things are going to be different. The Heat have 2 days of rest. They look like a very different team, and there's a lot of upside for the Heat right now. So, I would like to share with you my 3 keys for tonight's game. Key number 1, continue to utilize the defense against the top players. Now, in the last 2 games for Miami against Utah and against Phoenix, the Heat's defense benefited from not only the lack of top stars that both teams had, but also managing to get an aggressive defensive mindset going. That helped them greatly going up against the Utah Jazz and the Phoenix Suns. This time around, I would like to see them do the same thing against the likes of Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Desmond Bane, who we all know can be a walking bucket and can also be a defensive threat. Key number 2, work the boards more. Continue to work the boards more. Miami got some offensive rebounds against Utah and Phoenix, going back to the last 2 games, and they benefited greatly from second chance points. This time around, I would like to see more of the same with Miami and utilizing that offensive mindset to the fullest. Help out Bam out-rebound Goga Badatse. Help out Nikola Jovic. I would like to see Miami continue to not only get aggressive on the offensive rebounding department, but also getting defensive rebounds as well. If Miami can out-rebound Orlando, I think that's going to be one of the reasons they will win tonight. And key number 3, utilize the mid-range and the free throw shooting. Right now, Miami did benefit from going to the free throw line a lot against Phoenix, more so than they did when they went up against Utah. Here in tonight's game, not only will they go back to utilizing the free throw, but also establishing the mid-range game as well. Yes, at times Miami will like to attack the rim, which they have done a lot in the last 2 games, but this time around we can utilize the mid-range game while also inserting the occasional 3-pointer here and there. So those are my 3 keys for tonight's game against the Orlando Magic. And as it stands right now, the Heat are currently in 7th place in the Eastern Conference, but they also have the best record in the Southeast Division. I mean, that's the good part. However, I would think Miami will need to get out of the play-in territory, which they have been in the last few seasons. Hopefully, things will change for the Miami Heat for this week going, because they do have a lot of easier matches coming up this week and next week. So right now, the players are warming up, and we will have the starting lineups and opening tip-off very soon. Keep it locked right here for Heat Zone Live on Kendall Sports Network. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments regarding the Miami Heat, the entire NBA season, the All-Star selections, shout-outs to Kel'el Ware to making it to the Rising Stars basketball team, or even trade rumors regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, or Jonathan Kuminga, feel free to drop a comment or question and I will answer them for you. So we'll be right back for the starting lineups and opening tip-off for tonight's game. Oh. And we are back. Here's a look at our starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Orlando Magic, we have Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, Desmond Bain, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. And for the Miami Heat, same five as before. Kasper Ziakojunas, Norman Powell, Pelle Larsson, Andrew Wiggins, and Bam Adebayo. Both of these teams are very familiar with each other. Of course, Orlando leading the season series, 2 regular season wins, and 1 including a play-in tournament game. So there is a lot of pride, a lot of high stakes in this Sunshine State rivalry that we're in. Orlando may be the better team, I will admit that. But the one thing Miami can pretty much say is that they've won 3 NBA championships. Not sure if that holds any weight, but it does put some significance for Miami. So right now, both teams are warming up right now. They're getting themselves situated for opening tip-off. It appears that we may have a little bit of a technical issue with the rim. Tristan da Silva tried to fix it, but it got worse. It looks very slanted, like slightly slanted, but hopefully nothing too egregious that will happen in this game. So right now, this has been, right now it's a game delay. So unless the rim is fixed, then everything will be situated. All right, right now the crew is getting a ladder to fix said rim. So it shouldn't take long for them to properly fix it and put it back into place. So right now we'll take a break and we will come back for more Heat action when it properly gets started. And we are back, ready to begin tonight's game. Players are already situated. They're getting themselves ready for opening tip-off. The rim is finally in place, so no shenanigans for tonight's matchup. All right, so we will have opening tip-off right this moment. And Miami will win the tip. Kaspars Jakajunas has the ball, being guarded by Jalen Suggs. Passes it out to Pelle Larsson. Larsson to Bam for three. That's an air ball. Last touch by the Heat, it will be magic ball. All right, here comes. All right, here comes Desmond. Here comes Orlando. Jalen Suggs for three. That rims out. Rebound by Bam. Miami now has the ball. They give it to Norman Powell. To Pelle Larsson. To Bam. Bam driving into the lane. He gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. That one's going to be on Wendell Carter Jr. All right, so Bam will go to the line. In his last 4 games, Adebayo had 26.3 points per game and 9.8 rebounds per game. Nearing double figures in those last 4 games as he makes the first free throw. And he goes 1 of 2 from the line. All right, here comes Orlando. Paolo Banchero kicks it out. There's Jalen Suggs again, looking for the corner 3, but he steps out of bounds. It'll be Heat ball. All right, here comes Andrew Wiggins. Passes it out to Kaspars Jakajunas. Jakajunas finds Norman Powell for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Bam. It goes all the way out. Back to Orlando. Jalen Suggs has the ball. Gives it to Paolo Banchero. Here comes Banchero. Almost stolen away by Kaspars Jakajunas. Finds Pelle Larsson up ahead. But he goes out of bounds. Last touch by Miami, it will be magic ball. Miami right now off to a good start with defense. But both teams have the same number of turnovers per game. 14, in fact. All right, here comes Desmond Bane. Bane driving into the lane, and he gets Orlando on the board with that one. All right, here comes Bam. Finds Andrew Chief Wiggins 3 for Miami. Andrew Wiggins putting Miami up ahead in that one. Here comes Desmond Bane. Bane finds Wendell Carter Jr. for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Orlando. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. This one's going to be on Norman Powell. So that will send Anthony Black. Well, Orlando will have his side out instead. And Anthony Black soars for the lob. Nice assist from Paolo Banchero. And we're all tied up at 4. Here comes Kaspars Jakajunas. Jakajunas with the spin. Pump fakes. Misses the basket. Rebound by Orlando. Here comes Jalen Suggs. Finds Paolo Banchero. Banchero crashes right into Wiggins. And that's going to be a defensive foul on Miami. Alright, Paolo Banchero will go to the line for 2 free throws. He knocks down the first. He makes both free throws, and Orlando retakes the lead. All right, here comes Yakajunas. He finds Norman Powell. Powell gets fouled, and that one goes in. But, oh, wait. The referee says the basket does not count. I thought for sure that basket counted. Let's see it again. Powell, he was behind the line and got tapped by Anthony Black. All right, so it's going to be side out for Miami. And that one's going to be another foul on Anthony Black. Anthony Black already with 2 fouls in this game. All right, Miami will have it side out. They give it to Pelle Larsson. Larsson driving into the lane. And Larsson gets the layup. And we're all tied at 6. And here comes almost a nice dunk from Anthony Black, but doesn't get it. Miami right now, they are leading the NBA in pace as Bam goes for the 3. And Bam Adebayo knocks it down, and we have ourselves a 3-point lead for the Heat. And that basket is waved off. And I think that could be an offensive foul on Orlando. Anthony Black getting charged with a 3rd foul. Not a good look for Anthony Black. He already has 3 fouls and 2 points. Not a good statistic for him. All right. I'm sorry, not 3 fouls, but Anthony Black does get the basket. Orlando right now having 6 points in the paint to Miami's 2. And that's going to be another foul on Orlando. So far, the Magic are playing right into Miami's hands. All right, Miami will have it side out. And they give it to Kasparas Yakajunas. Yakajunas finds Powell. Powell for 3. But there's a foul call on the play. This one's going to be on Jalen Suggs. All right, so Norman Powell will go to the line for 2 free throws. Norman Powell knocks down the first free throw. Miami already in the bonus. Norman Powell knocks down the second free throw. And Norman Powell makes all 3 free throws. So it's now a 4-point lead for the Heat. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs. Finds Paolo Banchero. Here comes Banchero. Finds Anthony Black. Anthony Black finds Wendell Carter Jr. and he knocks down the basket. And Orlando within 2. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins passes out to Norman Powell. Here comes Norman Powell driving into the lane. And that ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Heat. It will be magic ball. Powell was looking to give it to Bam, but Bam was out of position for that one. And Jalen Suggs will come out of the game for Orlando. And stolen away by Kasparas Jakajunas. Nice play. And that's a nice layup for Miami. All right, here comes Anthony Black. Gives it to Tyus Jones. Wendell Carter Jr. for 3. And he knocks it down. So the Magic are back within 1. All right, here we go. Pelle Larsson to Jakajunas. Gives it to Norman Powell for 3. Go, go, Norman Powell Ranger. That's a 3 from Miami. The Heat are back up by 4. All right, and here comes Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones gets fouled. Nope. No foul called. Almost lost the ball. And Tyus Jones knocks down that basket. The Magic trail by 2. Here comes Jakajunas. Jakajunas guarded by Tyus Jones. Norman Powell now has it, guarded by Anthony Black. Here comes Wiggins for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Orlando. Paolo Banchero brings it up to the floor. Guarded by Norman Powell. Here comes Banchero. Banchero missing the layup. And here comes Wiggins. Wiggins finds Bam. Bam to Jakajunas. Jakajunas with a pump fake. Finds Pelle Larsson. Finds Norman Powell. Norman Powell missing that basket. Rebound by Orlando. Here comes Paolo Banchero. Desmond Bane almost loses the ball, but he recovers it. And here comes Anthony Black for 3. And he knocks it down to give Orlando the lead. And that will prompt a timeout for Erik Spoelstra. It's been a back and forth tit for tat game between these two rivals. Anything you can do, I can do better, as the Orlando Magic lead 18-17. And we are back. Score is 18-17 Orlando. So far, these two teams have been back and forth trading the lead. Just when you think one team has the advantage, the other just comes right back at them. This is like a heavyweight title fight between these two teams. Right now, we're experiencing some technical, almost a little bit of technical difficulties on our end, but so far it's been smooth sailing. Right now, Orlando has a 1-point lead. I'll be right back for a second. And we are back. Sorry about the inconvenience. Orlando right now leading 26-21. Jaime Hawkins Jr., Drew Smith, and Simone Fontecchio, along with Nikola Jovic, are in the game for Miami. And Jalen Suggs with a fast break layup to give Orlando a 7-point lead. The Magic right now are on a 10-2 run. And here comes Paolo Banchero on a fast break dunk, and he gets it. Right now it's 30-21 Orlando, as the Magic right now are on a 12-2 run. And it's stolen away by Desmond Bane. Gives it to Tristan da Silva. Here comes Jalen Suggs with a layup, and now it's a 14-2 run for Orlando, as they lead by 11. And Erik Spoelstra is furious, and he calls a timeout. Right now, the Magic are running away with this one as they lead 32-21. And we are back. Score is 32-21 Orlando. The Heat right now have been struggling on offense and on defense. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs. Suggs guarded by Smith. Finds Desmond Bane. Tristan da Silva. Out to Noah Penda, missing that basket. Noah Penda gets it back. 3 on the way from Desmond Bane. That rims out. And that will be Heat ball. Last touch by Orlando. Orlando right now out rebounding Miami 13-5. All right. And another loose ball on Miami. Another turnover. And that's going to be Magic ball. And there's Desmond Bane again with the basket. So right now, score is 34-21. All right, and here comes Simone Fontecchio for 3. And he knocks it down. That ends Orlando's 16-2 run. The Heat are within 10. All right, here comes Desmond Bane again. Finds Tristan da Silva. Out to Bane. An uncontested 3 from Noah Penda. And that rims out. Rebound by Bam. All right, Drew Smith brings it up to the floor. All right, here comes Jaime Hawkins Jr. Out to Drew Smith for 3. And that goes in the first quarter. What was once a back and forth tit for tat lead change between these two teams suddenly became a 16-2 run for Orlando. But nevertheless, the Miami Heat managed to find their way back into this one, even if it's just slightly. At the end of the first quarter, Orlando leads. At the end of the first quarter, Orlando leads 34-27. And we'll be back for the second quarter. All right, and we're back, ready to begin the second quarter. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. This one's going to be on Drew Smith. All right, Orlando has the ball. They find Desmond Bane. Noah Penda for three. And he knocks it down. Orlando are up by 10. All right, here comes Drew Smith. Smith guarded by Suggs. Miami passing the ball around. They find Fontecchio for the... I'm sorry, not Fontecchio. Nikola Jovic. I'm sorry. Yes, Simone Fontecchio, my bad. Simone Fontecchio getting the easy dunk. As Miami are within 8. And Tristan da Silva blowing that alley-oop. Here comes Miami. Fontecchio has the ball. Fontecchio driving into the lane. But that's going to be a foul on Orlando. And Simone Fontecchio is at the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first free throw. And Simone Fontecchio makes both free throws. So Miami now are trailing by 6. All right, here comes Desmond Bane. Finds Noah Penda. to Wendell Carter Jr. Here's Tristan da Silva back to Penda. Penda driving into the lane. The spin. The pump fake over Bam. Gets his shot blocked. And that's going to be an air ball on Penda. Here comes Miami. Good, excellent defense for the Heat. Drew Smith gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Right now, Miami is definitely playing aggressively. And with 14 bench points compared to Orlando 7, is showing in dividends. Drew Smith at the line for Miami. He knocks down the first free throw. And Drew Smith knocks down both free throws. So the Heat are coming back in this one, but they trail by 4. Here comes Jalen Suggs driving into the lane. And Jalen Suggs knocks it down. Jalen Suggs right now with 6 points, shooting 75% from the field. And here comes Miami. Nikola Jovic finds Fontecchio, and Fontecchio gets fouled. That one's going to be on Wendell Carter Jr., I believe. Yes, it is going to be on Wendell Carter Jr. Already with 5 points and 3 fouls in this game. Right, and Wendell Carter Jr. will come out of the game for the Magic. Simone Fontecchio missing the first free throw. And Simone Fontecchio goes 1 of 2 from the line. All right, here comes Desmond Bane. Ball stolen away by Miami. And that's going to be a foul on the Magic. Right now, Miami's defense is doing it all for them. Orlando right now with 5 turnovers to Miami 6. And Simone Fontecchio kind of walking gingerly right now after that collision. All right, Miami will have a side out. Drew Smith gives it to Jovic. Jovic driving into the lane, loses the ball, but almost gets it back. Here comes Bam for the corner 3, and Bam Adebayo knocks it down. And the Heat are certainly back into this one. They trail by 2. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs. Finds Desmond Bane. To Jonathan Isaac. Isaac with a basket, and he knocks it down. All right, the Magic are up by 4. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. That's a long 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. That's a 3, baby. That's amore. As Simone Fontecchio now with 11 points, going 2 for 2 from 3-point land. All right, now here comes Jalen Suggs. Suggs going for the basket. That rims out. Here comes Miami on a fast break. Hawkins driving in through. Gets his shot blocked. But that's going to be a goaltending on Orlando as Miami retakes the lead. They're now on a 15-4 run in this game. Here it is again. Hawkins beating Tristan da Silva to the basket. And yeah, Tristan da Silva and Noah Penda to the basket. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs. Out to Desmond Bane. Here comes Tristan da Silva missing the basket again, and here comes Miami. Drew Smith finding Bam. Bam loses the ball, and here comes Orlando again. Tristan da Silva finding Desmond Bane for three, and that rims out. Rebound by Miami. That's Drew Smith for the spot up three. No go, and here comes Orlando. And they find Tristan da Silva for the easy bucket. Orlando retakes the lead again. All right, here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Simone Fontecchio, corner three, and Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. Three for Miami, and he hit it from the Ray Allen spot. And that's going to prompt a timeout for the Magic. Just when you thought one team had the advantage, here comes the other. And right now, the Miami Heat are rolling as they lead 45-43. And we are back. Score is 47-43 Miami. Right now, we see a face we haven't seen on the court for some time. Kel'el Ware is back in the game for Miami. Kel'el Ware is in the game for Miami, I should say. Pelle Larsson re-entering the game for Miami. We haven't seen Kel'el Ware in a long time, so here he is. And Drew Smith knocks down both free throws. So it's now a 6-point game for Miami. Here comes Anthony Black. He brings it up to the floor for Orlando. Anthony Black guarded by Wiggins. Banchero sets the screen. Tyus Jones has it. Back to Banchero. Banchero gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Miami right now on a 16-4 run. All right, so Miami right now are leading in bench points, 29-11. All right, here comes Banchero. Makes the first free throw. And Banchero goes 1 of 2 from the line. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. He gives it to Drew Smith. All right, here comes Drew Smith, guarded by Tyus Jones. Finds Norman Powell. Here comes Powell, loses the ball, and here comes Tyus Jones. Finds Banchero. Banchero drives into the lane, misses the layup. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins finds Norman Powell. Powell finds Pelle Larsson. Back to Norman Powell for 3. And that rims out. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. And Kel'el Ware getting the putback for Miami. And it's now a 7-point lead for the Heat. And there's Paolo Banchero. And he gets the basket over Kel'el Ware. So it's now a 5-point game. All right, right now, here comes Miami. Looking to answer back, and they do. With a basket from Andrew Wiggins. Right now, both teams are going back and forth at each other with these baskets. All right, here comes Tyus Jones. Jones for 3. And he knocks down the basket. So right now, it's a 3-point game. Here comes Norman Powell. Finds Kel'el Ware. To Andrew Wiggins. Back to Ware. Ware missing the basket, and here comes Orlando again. And Anthony Black gets the basket. And that's gonna be a timeout. That's gonna prompt Erik Spoelstra to figure out another strategy. Just when one team had the lead, here comes the other trying to take it away. And Orlando right now, they're trying to get themselves on a roll. But Miami leads 55-54. And we are back. Score is 55-54. Here comes Kellel Ware with a nasty dunk. And right now, Miami are leading by 3. Here comes Orlando. That's a miss. And here comes Kellel Ware. Gives it to Norman Powell. Here comes Powell driving in. And he gets the basket. So right now, Miami are leading by 5 in this game. All right, here comes Paulo Banchero. Banchero guarded by Wiggins. That's an air ball. Recovered by Miami. Here comes Casper Siaka-Junis. Finds Pelle Larsson. Larsson driving into the lane. Loses the ball, but it was last touched by Orlando. Right now, Orlando has 20 points in this quarter compared to Miami's 32. Right now, Jalen Suggs is back in the game for Orlando. Wagner comes out. And Jonathan Isaac is back in the game for Orlando. And the ball goes right out of bounds, last touch by Orlando. All right, and here comes Bam, guarded by Jonathan Isaac. Bam backs him down. A step back, and he knocks it. Right now, Miami's leading by 7 in this game. Bam right now with 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 66% from behind the arc. And Jalen Suggs getting the uncontested dunk. Red carpet treatment and everything. Jalen Suggs right now, 8 points, 2 rebounds, going 4 from 6 from the field. Orlando right now are thriving off points in the paint, and that's going to be a rebound for the Magic. Orlando right now with 36 points in the paint compared to Miami's 26. Jonathan Isaac, corner 3. That rims out. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Casper Siaka-Junis. Finds Wiggins, corner 3. And it's rebound by Orlando. All right, here comes Desmond Bane. Finds Paulo Banchero. Out to Bane. Bane throws up an air ball. And it's recovered by Miami. Here comes that's Pelle Larsson. He gets tangled up with Desmond Bane. All right, Pelle Larsson at the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first. And Pelle Larsson makes both free throws. All right, and here comes Anthony Black. Anthony Black, guarded by Norman Powell. He gives it to Paulo Banchero. Banchero, guarded by Norman Powell. Finds Jalen Suggs for 3. And that rims off. Here comes Miami. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins missing that basket. Rebound by Paulo Banchero. Here comes Banchero trying to get to the lane, but he gets fouled. That foul is going to be on Casper Siaka-Junis. So right now, Orlando will have his side out. Alright, here comes Jalen Suggs. Suggs guarded by Kasper Siakam. And there's Anthony Black for the dunk. Orlando's trailing by 5 in this game. Alright, here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. to Fontecchio, the Bam. Ball almost got intercepted, but it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Jalen Suggs. So it will be Heat ball. Alright, here comes Paolo Larson. Larson, guarded by Desmond Bane. Bam has it to Fontecchio for 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. Mwah. Love that for him. As the Heat go up by 8. And Paolo Banchero couldn't answer with that 3. That rims out. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. driving into the lane. And Jaquez getting the layup over Jonathan Isaac as the Heat go up by 10. And here comes Jalen Suggs. Here comes Jalen Suggs, guarded by Kasper Siakam. Suggs drives in. Oh! Suggs took a nasty spill. But thankfully he's okay. Here it is again. Driving right past Siakam, meeting Fontecchio at the summit, but gets hit nastily. That's a nasty hit. Alright, so Jalen Suggs will go to the line for 2 free throws. I'm sorry. Looks like we got ourselves an official review to see whether that was a flagrant foul or not. I'm sorry. Alright, so Jalen Suggs will go to the line for 2 free throws instead. Suggs makes the first free throw. And Suggs goes 1 of 2 from the line. So at the end of the second quarter, Miami has a 9-point lead. They are ahead of Orlando, 68-59. So far in this game, it's been competitive. Both teams have been getting after it, not just on offense, but defense and rebounding, as well as passing. One thing I like to point out during this game is that both teams have been trading the lead back and forth, trading baskets back and forth. It's been a matter of anything you can do, I can do better between the two teams. Miami jumped out to the lead first, then Orlando. Then it was back and forth until Orlando went on a run to end the first quarter. Then Miami went on a run in the second quarter, leading up to them retaking the lead. So far, these two teams have been, I want to say neck and neck, but these two teams have been battling each other like it's a heavyweight title fight. And so far, it's been entertaining. Orlando does have an advantage over Miami in points in the paint, but the Heat have responded by getting more bench points over Orlando. So right now, the score is 68-59. It's halftime. If you have any questions or comments regarding the Miami Heat, the NBA season, NBA All-Star Weekend, or trade rumors regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, or Jonathan Kuminga, feel free to leave a comment or a question, and I'll go ahead and answer it for you guys during halftime. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and get me something to drink, and hopefully you guys have any comments or questions for me to answer. And we are back. Ready to begin this game. Ready to begin the second half, excuse me. Miami right now leading 68-59 in this one. All right, Orlando has the ball. Jalen Suggs almost lost the ball, but recovered by Anthony Black. Black gives it to Suggs. Suggs gives it to Bane. Bane finds Wendell Carter Jr. missing that basket. Here comes Miami now. Norman Powell guarded by Banchero. Here comes Norman Powell driving to the lane, and he gets the layup. All right, and here comes Orlando. Anthony Black trying to get into the lane. He gets the basket. Yep, he gets the basket, and he will go to the line for the M1. Let's look at it again. Colliding with Norman Powell, and he gets the basket. Right now, he has 15 points in this game. And with this and one, he should make it 16. And it rims out, so it will remain at 15. Miami right now has the ball. Here comes Wiggins to Bam for three. That's off. Rebound by Jalen Suggs. Here comes Orlando now. Desmond Bane driving to the lane. Wendell Carter Jr. for three, and he knocks it down. So right now, it's a 6-point game for Miami. Pelle Larsson, not sure what to do. He gives it to Bam. Bam backing down Wendell Carter Jr. And that's going to be 3 in the key on Miami. So it would be Magic ball. Right now the Magic are starting to play with some pace and rhythm in their game. All right, here comes Anthony Black. Finds Wendell Carter Jr. Gives it to Desmond Bane. Back to Anthony Black. And here comes Paolo Banchero. Almost lost the ball. Jalen Suggs for three. That rims out. Rebound by Pelle Larsson. He gives it to Wiggins. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins. Rims out. And that will go to Orlando. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs flying to the lane. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. So that would be 2 free throws for... Oh, I'm sorry. That's going to be an over and back on Orlando. So it'll be heat ball. All right, and here comes Pelle Larsson. Miami still fighting for the rebound. Couldn't get a hold of it. So it's going to be Orlando ball. All right, and here comes Anthony Black. Gets his own putback. And that's going to be a 4-point lead for Miami. Orlando right now on a 7-0 run. And Miami hasn't yet to respond. Miami has yet to respond after those free throws. So Norman Powell will go to the line for 2 free throws. I'm sorry, nope. All right, Miami will have it side out instead. Pelle Larsson has it to Bam. Uncontested three. That rims out. All right, and here comes Desmond Bane driving to the lane, and he gets it. All right, and here comes a nice alley-oop from Wiggins to Pelle Larsson. And it looks like Desmond Bane's a little bit shaken up right now. He's walking gingerly. Orlando calls timeout, and Desmond Bane looks to be in serious pain right now. Let's watch it again. Desmond Bane colliding with Bam and then sliding down after making contact with the cameraman. So we'll see what happens with Desmond Bane as we come back. Miami leads 72-68. And we are back. Score is 72-68. Miami has the lead. And if you're just tuning in, Desmond Bane took a very nasty spill, almost landing on his knees. But he is fine right now. Right now, Orlando has the ball. Here comes Paolo Banchero out to Anthony Black. Black gives it to Bane. Bane drives in, and he gets the layup. And Orlando within 2 points right now. There's Norman Powell for three. That rims out, and it's going to go out of bounds. It will be Orlando ball. All right, here comes Anthony Black. Anthony Black guarded by Norman Powell. Finds Paolo Banchero. Here comes Banchero. Kicks it out to Black. That's a corner three from Jalen Suggs. That rims out. Rebound by Pelle Larsson. Miami right now going for the fast break. Kicks it out to Norman Powell for the corner three. And go Norman Powell Ranger. That's a wing three for Miami. All right, here comes Desmond Bane for three. That rims out. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Bam. Driving into the lane. And Bam missing that one. That goes right out of bounds. Last touch by Pelle Larsson. And it will be Orlando ball. Right now, here comes Jalen Suggs. Suggs guarded by Kasper Siaka-Junis. Gives it to Paolo Banchero. And Banchero gets the layup. Right now Orlando trails by three. Ball stolen away by the Magic. Here comes Paolo Banchero again. Misses the layup. The Magic right now on a 13-5 run as Anthony Black comes back with a steal to tie the game at the 3. No go. Jalen Suggs finds Desmond Bane. Here comes Paolo Banchero with a dunk. And right now, Orlando are within 1. They're now on a 15-5 run. Miami better do something now, otherwise it's going to be an Orlando Magic lead again. And that's an errant pass from Norman Powell to find Andrew Wiggins, who stepped out of bounds. Right now, the Magic are rolling. And this has been a game of runs between these two teams so far. All right, here comes Desmond Bane. Gives it to Paolo Banchero. Miami going for the double team, but Bane for 3, and he gives them the lead. Desmond Bane right now giving Orlando a 2-point lead. Here comes Norman Powell. Kicks it out to Kasper Siakam-Junis for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Pelle Larsson. And Bam is there for the putback, and we're all tied at 77. All right, here comes Anthony Black. Out to Desmond Bane. Back to Black. To Banchero. Banchero looking to drive into the lane. Banchero against Wiggins. And Banchero gets the basket. Orlando retakes the lead. All right, here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins knocks down the basket, and here we go again. We are tied at 79. I mean, both of these teams are trading buckets like prize fighters trading punches. And that rims out for Orlando. Here comes Miami. Kasper Siakam-Junis looking to get into the lane. Gets his shot blocked, but he gets his own rebound. Here comes Siakam-Junis again. Siakam-Junis loses the ball, and here comes Orlando. Siakam-Junis had no help whatsoever. I mean, he had Pelle Larsson, Andrew Wiggins, but none of them were on the opposite side to help him, like on his right side to get the extra pass. All right, here comes Tyus Jones. He's now in the game for Orlando. The Heat have 13 turnovers in this game to Orlando's 6. Here comes Banchero. Out to Tyus Jones. Gives it to Anthony Black. Anthony Black guarded by Kel'el Ware. And that ball rims out. But Tyus Jones recovers it. Anthony Black. And he knocks down the corner 3, and that does not please Erik Spoelstra at all. Why did Kel'el Ware just leave him unattended like that? That's one of the many reasons why Spoelstra's not so high on Kel'el Ware these days, and Orlando is benefiting from that errant mistake on defense. The Magic lead 82-79. And we are back. Score is 82-79 Orlando. Right now, the Magic have been on a run so far, but Miami has been trying to make it competitive despite their input on offense. So right now, both of these teams are trying to get back on track. All right, here comes Miami. Norman Powell has the ball. He misses the layup. Jaime Jaquez recovers the ball. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins knocks down the basket. And it's now a 1-point game. Orlando so far has been on a 23-11 run. And here comes Tyus Jones. Jones guarded by Jaquez. Gives it Tristan da Silva for 3, and he knocks it down. Tristan da Silva giving Orlando a 4-point lead. Here comes Kelly Ware. He gets wrapped up, gets fouled. I mean, that should have been a foul, but instead, it's an Orlando rebound. Right, here comes Paolo Banchero. Out to Tyus Jones. Jalen Suggs gives it to Banchero. Banchero missing the layup. But that's going to be a foul on Miami. I think that's going to send either Banchero or Jonathan Isaac to the line for two free throws. All right, so Paolo Banchero will go to the line for 2 free throws. Banchero knocks down the first free throw. And Banchero makes both free throws. Here comes Drew Smith. He gives the ball to Jaquez. Jaquez with the spin. Missing the basket. Kelly Ware missing the rebound. My goodness. And Orlando missing the alley-oop. Here comes Tyus Jones. Nice closeout by Drew Smith. Here comes Tristan da Silva. That's going to be a kick ball out of bounds on Miami. It will be Orlando ball still. All right. Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jovic, and Simone Fontecchio re-entered the game for Miami. All right, here comes Banchero for 3. And he knocks it down. So right now, the Magic lead by 8 in this game. Here comes Drew Smith. Drew Smith drives in, gets the layup. And right now, the Heat are trailing by 7 in this one. Here comes Tyus Jones to Banchero. Orlando swinging the ball around. They give it to Jonathan Isaac. Back to Da Silva. Da Silva almost loses the ball. That's a 3 on the way. And Anthony Black knocks down that 3, and the Magic go up by 10. Right now, Orlando's offense has been on all cylinders. It's been a 34-13 run so far. Here comes Drew Smith again. He gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, Drew Smith knocks down the first free throw. And Drew Smith makes both free throws. So right now it's an 8-point game for Orlando. The Magic are picking their spots right now. Uncontested three from Tristan da Silva. That one rims out. Rebound by Jonathan Isaac, and Tristan da Silva is there for the putback dunk. It's now a 10-point game for Orlando. Simone Fontecchio for three. That rims out. Here comes Paolo Banchero. Banchero brings it up to the floor. Guarded by Hawkins. Banchero with the spin. Loses the ball, was looking for a foul, and here comes Miami. Uncontested three from Simone Fontecchio. That rims out. No putback for Miami as Orlando recovers the rebound. And another foul called on Miami. This one's going to be on Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jonathan Isaac goes to the line for 2 free throws. All right, and Jonathan Isaac makes the first free throw. And he makes both free throws, so it's now a 12-point game for the Magic. Orlando ranks first in free throw attempts, and another steal for the Magic. Right now, it's been all Orlando in the third quarter, and that's a corner three from Tristan da Silva that rims out. Rebound by Jaime Jaquez Jr. Here comes Hawkins, and another stolen opportunity for Miami. Paolo Banchero getting that basket. It's now a 14-point game. Here comes Drew Smith. Orlando right now on a 40-15 run. Here comes Drew Smith. Gives it to Bam. Bam for three. And that's a three-pointer for Miami. The Heat trailing by 11 in this one. Here comes Tyus Jones. Banchero guarded by Drew Smith. Gives it to Anthony Black. Black driving in. And that's gonna end the third quarter. Orlando comes back. Orlando goes on a 14-15 run. A 40-15 run. Completely wiping away Miami's lead. And they lead 99-88. Stick around, we have more action in the fourth quarter coming up. And we have a comment from Sean Callahan 8080 saying that you're the most consistent streamer on Kendall Sports. First time watcher here, but always see you on. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that so much. I love the comment from you. Thank you. I work whenever I can on this stream, and I appreciate what I do here and interacting with each and every one of you. That comment I enjoy the most. That's one of the comments I enjoy the most, and I can never thank you enough for that one. But again, I do whatever I can to be on this stream and hopefully I would like to see Kendall Sports Network grow into something more. I mean, I love the brand. I love what we do. We're very passionate about sports here in South Florida. So here's to us striving for better. Thank you, Sean Callahan. I appreciate it. And we'll be back for more action in the fourth quarter. All right, and we are back. Score is 88-99. Orlando. We have ourselves the fourth quarter to look forward to. Here's Drew Smith. Finds Fontecchio for three. Simone Fontecchio knocks down that three. And right now, it's an 8-point game for Orlando. All right, here comes Tyus Jones. He finds Tristan da Silva. Gives it to Desmond Bane. Here comes Desmond Bane for three, and he gets it. So it's now 102-91 Orlando. All right, here comes Fontecchio. Fontecchio flies in, misses the basket. Rebound by Orlando. Here comes Tristan da Silva. Da Silva to Jalen Suggs. Suggs gives it to Black, gives it to Tyus Jones, back to Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs guarded by Jovic. There's a three on the way. That rims out. Rebound by Tristan da Silva. And I think there's going to be a foul on Miami. I think that one's going to be on Jaime Jaquez Jr. So Orlando will have his side out. Here comes Tyus Jones. Gives it to Desmond Bane. And Desmond Bane knocks it down. So right now it's a 13-point game for Orlando. All right, here comes Bam. Finds Fontecchio. Corner three. Open. And he knocks it down. And Miami are back within 10. Simone Fontecchio right now having himself a night with 23 points and 4 rebounds. Going 6 for 9 from three-point land. And here's Tristan da Silva answering back for Orlando with a three of his own. So now it is a 13-point game. Here comes Fontecchio. Finds Jaquez for three. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. answering back with a three of his own for Miami. It's now a 10-point game. Here comes Tyus Jones. Jones flying in. Misses the basket. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Bam. Gives it to Fontecchio. To Jovic. Jovic backing down Desmond Bane. Kicks it out to Jaquez. Back to Bam. Bam gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, and here comes Bam at the line for 2 free throws. Bam knocks down the first free throw. And Bam knocks down both free throws. So now it is an 8-point game for Orlando. Bam Adebayo nearing double figures with 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Here comes Jalen Suggs. Clear path to the lane. No go. And here comes Bam. Finds Jaquez. Finding Drew Smith. Jaquez drives in. Gets the layup. And right now, Miami is starting to get back into this one. They were down 13. They were down 13 or 14 as Orlando calls timeout. They lead 107-101. And we have another comment from Sean Callahan 8080. Sean says, "Show that comment to Mark. They need to get more consistent on the soccer show." Oh, you mean False 9? Well, I think soccer season is starting up in a few weeks, if not days. So maybe they'll get the memo when they see this stream. But other than that, I think False 9 will be just fine. I mean, they got a lot to look forward to, especially with Inter Miami as the reigning defending MLS champions. Plus, a new stadium that's being built for Inter Miami will be opening in April. So they're going to have to be more consistent than me to be talking about Inter Miami right now. Because soccer season is going to be, or I should say, the MLS season should be starting soon. I mean, soccer's already started with the Premier League, League One, La Liga, Bundesliga, and Serie A. Of course, soccer all over, or I should say football all over the world. So right now, yes. False 9, if you guys are seeing this comment, right now, hop to it. Get consistent. But other than that, we'll be right back with more Heat action. And we are back. Score is 107-101. Orlando has a 6-point lead in this game. In the third quarter, they went on a 40-15 run. The most points they probably ever put up in this whole game. Or I should say, the most points they put up in a quarter this whole game. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs, guarded by Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez finds Banchero. Banchero missing that basket. Rebound by Fontecchio. All right, here comes Drew Smith. Drew Smith kicks it out to Bam for 3. And Bam Adebayo draws Miami within 3 after that one. The Heat trail by 3 in this game. Here comes Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane bringing the pain with that basket. Orlando may lead by 5, but Miami right now are on a 16-10 run. And Fontecchio comes up losing the ball. Here comes Orlando. They give it to Jalen Suggs. Anthony Black has a corner three. Passes it out back to Bane. Bane guarded. Bane passes it out to Jalen Suggs. Suggs with the setback. And Suggs knocks it down. My goodness. Orlando now leading by 7 in this one. Jalen Suggs with 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Here comes Bam. Out to Drew Smith. Gives it to Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez backing him down, but couldn't get the basket. Rebound by Fontecchio, and he gets fouled. So it looks like it's going to be a foul on Miami instead. Orlando will have it side out. All right, Fontecchio will come out of the game for Miami. All right, and here comes Jalen Suggs for 3, and he knocks it down. And now Orlando is back up by 10 in this one. Here comes Jovic. And that one rims out. Rebound by Orlando. Right now, the Magic are on a 7-0 run. Here goes Jalen Suggs. Finds Anthony Black. Anthony Black with a crossover. And he knocks down the basket. And it's now a 10-0 run for Orlando. What was once a 3-point game has now swelled back up to 13. Right now, the Magic have been on a roll, and Miami has yet to answer back. I mean, they've had their moments where it looks like it was going to be back with their momentum. Only for Orlando to just come back and erase their run with theirs own. Orlando leads 117 to 104. And we are back. Score is 117 to 104. Orlando. All right, here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins loses the ball, and here comes Paulo Banchero on a fast break dunk, and he gets it. Right now it's 119-104 Orlando. The Magic right now on a 12-0 run. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes gives the ball to Norman Powell. Norman Powell loses the ball off his hands, and this ball is going right back to Orlando. Miami can't seem to get a hold of the offense right now. They committed 18 turnovers in this one. Here comes Anthony Black, finding Wendell Carter Jr., and Orlando's lead continues to swell. Here comes Bam, flying into the lane, and he gets the layup. It's now a 15-point game for the Magic. Here comes Anthony Black, guarded by Wiggins. Anthony Black flies in, gets his shot blocked, rebound by Pelle Larsson. Here comes Larsson. And that's going to be goaltending on Orlando. 2 points awarded to Pelle Larsson. Anthony Black got beat on defense. Yeah, his hand was underneath the rim. All right, here comes Orlando with that air ball three. Here comes the Heat again. Pelle Larsson almost lost that ball. Gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes with the pump fake. Hawkes flying in, and he gets a layup. And we now have we now have an 11-point game in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The Magic call timeout. Right now, Miami is trying to find their way back into this one, but it's gonna be a steep climb to get back to where they once were in this game. It's a 30-second timeout, so Orlando leads 121-110. So far, Anthony Black and Paulo Banchero have been laying the way for Orlando, while Simone Fontecchio and Bam Adebayo have been doing the same for the Heat. Not to be outdone for Orlando, Desmond Bane, who I mentioned earlier, is a threat on both offense and defense. He has 20 points in this one. All right, right now we are back. Orlando has the ball, and they lead 121-110. The Heat right now have scored 6 unanswered. Here comes Paulo Banchero, and he knocks down the basket. So it's now a 13-point game. Here comes Bam, gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes lets it fly, and that's a miss. Rebound by Orlando. Oof, Anthony Black gets hit in the face by Norman Powell. So that's going to be a foul on Norman Powell. Orlando will have it side out instead. Here comes Paulo Banchero. Desmond Bane, open three. And the Magic lead by 16. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes kicks it out to Wiggins for three. And that rim. That rims out, but that's going to be a foul on Paolo Banchero. So it's going to be 3 free throws for Wiggins. Let's look at it again. Banchero believes he was not in. Banchero looks like he did not commit a foul. But apparently, there's going to be a coach's challenge. Orlando will challenge this foul, and we will have ourselves a timeout. The Magic lead 126-110. And we are back after that coach's challenge. The ruling is that the call stands, and it was a foul on Paolo Banchero, shooting on Paolo Banchero as Andrew Wiggins was shooting a 3. So it'll be 3 free throws for Andrew Wiggins, and Orlando will lose a timeout. Wiggins sucks on the first free throw. Andrew Wiggins makes the second free throw. And Wiggins makes all 3 free throws. It is now a 13-point game for Orlando. All right, here comes Jalen Suggs. Suggs for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. missing the basket. Rebound by Orlando. All right, and here comes Desmond Bane. Bane guarded by Bam. Paolo Banchero has the basket. To Jalen Suggs. Ball's knocked loose. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Jaquez finding Wiggins. Wiggins for the dunk. And all of a sudden now it's an 11-point game. Here goes Anthony Black. He finds Banchero. Banchero breaks free, and he gets the basket. And here comes Norman Powell flying through the lane. Gets the layup. Right now, this one's an 11-point game. It's an 11-point game between these two teams. And that's going to be a foul on Norman Powell. So Orlando will have it side out. All right, here comes Anthony Black. Black guarded by Powell. Black now guarded by Wiggins. Black finds Banchero. The Desmond Bain for the basket. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Miami. Trying to break it down. Trying to break the lead to the single digits. And Norman Powell getting the layup. It is now a 9-point game. And Orlando will call another timeout. The Magic are no longer have any timeouts as they lead 128 to 119. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because the last 2 minutes are going to be very intense. And we are back. Score is 128 to 119. Orlando has the lead, but Miami right now is on a 15-7 run. All right, here comes Wendell Carter Jr. missing the basket. Rebound by Bam. All right, here comes Bam. Finds Norman Powell. Powell gets fouled, and the and-one. Knocks down the and-one, and he's going to go to the line. Miami right now are rolling. They're cutting down that lead to size. Norman Powell getting that basket. That was a nice touch. All right, so here comes Norman Powell. And Powell knocks it down. Miami right now on a 12-2 run. Jalen Suggs being guarded by Powell. Jalen Suggs almost lost the ball. They give it to Desmond Bain. Bain guarded by Pelle Larsson. Paolo Banchero guarded by Jaquez. And that's going to be a foul on Jaime Jaquez Jr. I know. That's going to send Paolo Banchero to the line. And you see Jaquez grabbed Paolo Banchero. However, it looks like we're going to have a coach's challenge from Miami. But I don't think that's going to solve anything. I mean, I did see Jaquez grab Paolo Banchero in the replay. So I think that's going to be a wasted timeout on Miami. All right, after that last referee's challenge, after that last, coach's challenge, the referee's ruling stands. It will remain a foul on Jaime Jaquez Jr., so it will be 2 free throws for Paolo Banchero. Miami now has only 1 timeout remaining. So Paolo Banchero is now at the line for the Magic. So far, he's been shooting 76% from the cherry stripe. And Banchero misses the first free throw. And Banchero goes 1 of 2 from the line. All right, here we go. The final seconds of this game. Norman Powell for 3. Rims out. Orlando now has the ball. Here comes Paolo Banchero. Gives it to Desmond Bane. Bane guarded by Wiggins. Here comes Desmond Bane. Blocked by Bam. Recovered by Banchero, but stolen away by Miami. Here comes. Oh, wow. Norman Powell did not get fouled on that play. Now Miami has no choice but to foul. They have no choice but to foul right now. And they do with 16.8 seconds remaining. That was a nice block from Jalen Suggs. I thought Norman Powell got fouled. Or that should have been a goaltend. So Jalen Suggs will go to the line for 2 free throws. Jalen Suggs knocks down the first free throw. And Jalen Suggs makes both free throws. So that will lead to a Heat timeout, their final timeout. And boy, this one got away from Miami. This one got away from Miami. Too many turnovers, plus the third quarter was a killer. The Magic lead 131 to 122. And we are back. Score is 131 to 122. And there's a basket from Miami, excuse me. That ball goes out of bounds. It was last touched by the Heat. It will be Magic ball. Not much the Heat can do now. As Jalen Suggs re-enters the game. And that's going to be a foul on Andrew Wiggins. That will send Paolo Banchero to the line for 2 free throws. Banchero knocks down the first free throw. And he makes both free throws. And that is going to do it. The Orlando Magic come away with another victory in Miami. They win this one 133 to 124. What can I say about this one? This one was back and forth. We did see a couple of runs from both teams. But what killed Miami the worst was not just the turnovers, not just the points in the paint, but it was the entire third quarter. So let me paint this picture if I can. Miami had a 9-point lead. They were up 68 to 59 in that game. Right into the third quarter. Orlando started to go on a run. Miami was barely holding on to the lead despite what little input they had on offense. Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, and the rest of that Magic team just went on that run and they never looked back. Even though Miami did try to make something happen in the fourth quarter, the third quarter was where everything just went downhill for them. I mean, the lack of defensive pressure, just allowing open baskets from behind the arc, and not even protecting the paint. That has to be a very terrible example of how to play against Orlando. I'm starting to think the Orlando Magic are the new Denver Nuggets for Miami. If you know, you know. Because right now, the Heat haven't figured out how to beat the Magic. The Heat haven't figured out how to beat the Magic right now. And it's getting ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that Orlando right now are going to take the top spot in the Southeast Division. I mean, both teams are still in play-in territory. But Orlando right now may have 7 plays over Miami. It's just unreal how Miami can beat teams using offensive rebounds and very few turnovers. But when it comes to the Orlando Magic, that all vanishes away. I don't know if it's because we're state rivals, division rivals, but something has to give. And Miami definitely needs some answers, more than ever. They definitely need to find something to combat against this Orlando Magic team. But it was a hard-fought game. It was a hard-fought game between those two teams. But in the end, like I said, the second half tends to be a poison pill for Miami. And the third quarter was a prime example of that. All right, for the Heat, Andrew Wiggins had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Jaime Jaquez Jr. came off the bench with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Drew Smith had 13 points. Simone Fontecchio led the way with 23 points. Norman Powell had 22 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. And Bam Adebayo with a near triple-double of 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists. And for the Orlando Magic, Desmond Bane had 23 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. Wendell Carter Jr. with 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Anthony Black had 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Jalen Suggs with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Tristan da Silva came off the bench with 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Paolo Banchero with a double-double of 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. Yeah, a tough loss for the Miami Heat. A very, very tough loss. Deflating loss after going 3 up, 2 down in their West Coast trip. But that's the bad news. The good news here is that Miami will return back to the court. The Heat will return back to the court as they will take on the Chicago Bulls. That game starts tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. and you can catch that on NBA League Pass and FanDuel Sports Network Sun. Again, the Heat and the Bulls. The Heat will be in the Windy City for this one. Of course, this was probably a redo from the game that was postponed earlier this month because of the rain and condensation. And of course, that led to me having to do the play-by-play for the Miami Hurricanes game when they were taking on Ole Miss, if anyone remembers that one. So, again, Heat, Bulls, tomorrow at 8 in the Windy City. And you can catch that on NBA League Pass and FanDuel Sports Network Sun. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I also want to thank Sean Callahan, 8080, for his comment saying that I am the most consistent streamer on Kindle Sports. I appreciate it, but I do whatever I can. I also want to thank everyone who came in and watched, lurked, wanted to look at the scoreboard, or listen to my play-by-play, even though from time to time I was a little choppy, kind of struggling to get some words out. But nevertheless, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in and enjoying the stream. Not only do I appreciate it, but the good folks of Kindle Sports Network appreciate it as well. So, with that saying, I want to thank each and every one of you. I love you guys. Look out for one another. Take care of one another. Always be there for someone in their time of need. And be certain that they'll do the same thing and reciprocate that love and appreciation for you, rather than think about themselves and be selfish. Just be kind-hearted, caring, understanding, and always inspire the next generation. Because you want to leave something very good behind for those who see you in a positive light. Always be willing to go a step above and beyond yourself, because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Take care. God bless. I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, go Heat. Take care.